So as we know, the new War Tycoon update is going to be absolutely huge, bringing in a new boat, but along with this it's also going to be bringing in an amphibious vehicle support. However, with every update, it comes with its own issues, and the issue for this one is going to be the fact that nobody actually uses these vehicles, which are going to be buffed, but also nobody almost uses the boats as of now, which is an absolutely huge problem. So in today's video, guys, I'll be talking about the best ways in which we could fix this problem for the upcoming update, on how to make these vehicles much more usable and actually make this update a lot more meaningful. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. Alrighty, so here we are right into the game. I'm gonna expand a little bit on the intro. What I'm gonna be doing is talking about changes that can basically be made. So as of now, the BTR-AD is just completely unusable. Nobody really uses it, haven't seen it in 10,000 years. The VCAC Mephisto, on the other hand, is actually quite fun to use and it's really good. However, the stuff like the LAV-AD is almost unobtainable as of now, just by how low the chances are to actually obtain it from the spin, which is not that big of a problem. However, the LAV-AD should also be having a change. So first of all, I'm gonna start with the BTR-AD. Alrighty, so when we do first spawn it in, the BTR-AD does kind of seem like it's pretty good. It does have like a machine gun, it has explosive gun, but also it has a smoke, so most people would say, oh, it's pretty good. However, the problem with this is that it has set of one of the worst weaponries in the whole entire game in terms of damage. First of all, this machine gun is incredibly weak for the reason that it takes so fast in order to actually run out of ammo, and you just have to reload straight away, and it barely can get out any damage, so that's kind of very annoying. However, I believe the best way in which this gun should be buffed is by simply making it be able to shoot for 2 times longer, because that will allow it to actually whip out a lot more damage than what it was previously able to make. Second of all, the explosive machine gun, I believe it should be having slightly more area damage. Along with this, a direct hit to anything should also be doing at least 2 times more damage than it currently is. The BTR-AD is just not self-sustaining in terms of its firepower. Next up over here we have ourselves the VCAC Mephisto. Personally, I really like this vehicle and I don't believe it should be having any type of changes, so good job to the developers. They actually made this thing really good, to be honest. First of all, it has excellent weaponry because it's able to pretty much shred almost any tank in a matter of 4 missiles. Along with this, it's able to 1-shot to 2-shot any vehicle in the sky, so I actually like it how it is, also because of its really good speed and versatility. But lastly, this is where stuff actually gets very interesting. The LAV-AD is literally a vehicle which we get in the spin, which should mean that it should be the best vehicle in its category, such as the AWP. The AWP, literally, which we are able to obtain inside of the spin, is the best sniper in the game. So why is the LAV-AD not at least the best garage vehicle in the game? Well, that's actually a really good question. So I believe since it's going to be able to have a lot more abilities in the next update, I believe it should also be buffed. So first of all, I really like this vehicle's versatility. It's amazing. However, it does have 2 major problems. How easy it is to actually destroy it by pretty much any type of missile just because of its limited amount of health. So for the next update, I believe that the LAV-AD should be having at least 1000 health, so it's harder to destroy it. The second thing is, its main gun does feel like it's pretty good, that it feels pretty good damage, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, it does shoot for a long time, but the amount of damage is actually not as good. So the change I believe that should be made in this update is that the LAV-AD should be able to shoot for a slightly slower amount of time. However, the bullet should be doing at least 1.5 times more damage, because right now the damage is just not good enough. Like the rockets and the local missiles are really cool, I really like the idea of it, but as of now the main gun just does not get the job done, and it really drags down this vehicle a lot. Alrighty, now moving into the more important part of this update is the boats itself. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but in this boat section, none of these boats are actually useful. Like, most of them are literally useless and they don't give you any power, they don't really help you with anything. The best one out of here I would probably say is the jet ski, just because of the fact that it's so small and hard to hit and it goes at an excellent speed. But other than this, I just don't feel like these boats are useful whatsoever, and I don't really know any good way in which they should be changed. Personally, I feel like the only good way that the Vietnam River boat and the Cirque should be changed to actually make it somewhat useful is that the gunner section would be working exactly the same with a few helicopters which we currently have in the game. That, for example, in the Mi-28, when a second person starts to use the vehicle, they are able to control the machine gun. However, if one person is using it, they can control all the weapons. I believe that change should be made to the Cirque and the Vietnam River boat to make them much more useful in the next update. Now, actually moving into the boats, don't get me wrong, these boats are really fun to use. However, the stuff like the Fairmile and the USS Douglas has went for a lot of changes. So let me start with the Fairmile and talk about the big problem that it has. As of of now, I don't feel like this vehicle is this useful because it just runs out of ammunition so incredibly fast. So first of all, developers, I believe that the amount of shots that this vehicle should be able to fire should be at least 2 times more than what it is able to fire right now, because right now I believe this was nerfed because the damage was so insanely good, and I believe that's a good thing, but it just made this boat unusable after it got nerfed. So please revert the nerf of the Fairmile to actually make it a lot more useful than it used to be. Because if I'm gonna be honest, people are just not going to be using the Fairmile at all. Also, another thing which I would like to very quickly talk about is the reason why I want some of these changes to be reverted is because of the fact that back then the reason why these nerfs took place is because the power that these boats actually had to offer was way bigger than what the meta could currently allow. What I mean by this is because back then there wasn't as many powerful vehicles in the game that could actually counter these boats, but now in the modern day there is much more many weapons in War Tycoon that could actually allow you to counter these boats and actually allow these boats to be usable but also be counterable at the same time, which is very important part which I want the developers to also consider by watching this. Anyway, moving into the next vehicle, which in my opinion is the only good boat out of all of them, it's going to be the PGA-02. It has excellent speed, no changes needed on that, but I believe the machine gun on this is actually incredibly powerful. First of all, it's an explosive gun. Second of all, it literally shreds any plane and helicopter, and I actually have made a video on this, which I'm probably going to be posting around this week on how powerful this boat is. I don't believe it should be nerfed, I don't believe it should be changed. The PGA-02 is actually good how it is, but it just doesn't get the love it deserves because the boats are just super unused. Now lastly, the USS Douglas, it has went for a lot of nerfs, so one thing I believe that should be changed about the US Douglas is to actually revert these nerfs, however keep them in a one or shape or form. So the way I would like the USS Douglas to be changed in this update is that the main cannon of the USS Douglas should first of all do more damage, however it should run out of ammunition much quicker. I feel like more damage would really make up for this small amount of ammunition that it will be able to fire. And overall, I really do like these missiles. I believe that they should be changed slightly in terms of tracking because it's actually incredibly difficult to track with them and hit any shots. Along with this, the scope makes it even harder, for me to be honest. Like, the scope has still not been fixed. It's not really that good, to be honest. Like, it's still quite slow. But yeah, anyway, I really do love all of these boats, and I really do hope that in the next update, the boats are really gonna receive some more love. They really do deserve it. So anyway, that's probably all I'm gonna have for you guys in today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what changes you would like to see, because I believe after like a week or two, these boats are, or just this update is gonna be absolutely forgotten about, just because of the fact that these vehicles did not get enough love, and all of them were not really that useful. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much to the developers who did watch this video and probably took notes on it. I appreciate it.